Hey y'all, it's your girl Cassandra from Pecan Porch Boutique. Welcome to my channel, and I have another video for y'all. So come take a walk with me, you guys, out to my backyard boutique, up the sidewalk and past all of the leftover leaves from the fall. I don't call it Pecan Porch Boutique for nothing. And then up the steps onto the porch that needs to be redone. There's a lot that needs to be redone back here, y'all. But anyway, I found last summer at a garage sale this cute little cedar chest, y'all. It is so cute. And I only paid like $10 for it. So now it's even cuter. But I don't know, somebody chopped the legs off of it. And so it's really low to the floor. And I'm thinking maybe because they wanted to use it as a coffee table maybe or something. I don't know. But anyway, it's really cute, and you can see inside it still has great cedar lining in it, and you can even still smell it. It smells really good. And so one of my first goals for this piece is going to be to raise it up off the floor, because I don't know about y'all, but down on the floor and me don't go hand in hand anymore. So you can see these little stumps that they left after they cut off the rest of the leg. And so I busted out my power tools, y'all, like I really knew what I was doing. No, I don't do power tools. But I have these legs already. And so my goal was that I was just going to drill into that stump and then add the leg to the stump and even give it more height. Well, that didn't work. These dang things, it might as well have been a tree stump. So I gave up on that pretty quickly, and a friend of mine came over and added these legs. So look, y'all, it's already looking cute. My inspiration for this piece is going to be this paper by Roycycle Treasures, and it's called Bird Ephemera. I'm really feeling spring, y'all. I'm not a winter girl. So this piece is going to be my inspiration. And you guys have seen me do this before. I am just going to take a little bit of water on a brush, and I'm going to trim off the side edges. And I'm going to leave the top edge and the bottom edge, but I'm trimming off the side edges because this paper is going to go right down the center of this chest and onto the little fake looking drawers at the bottom. I'm going to be doing a raised stencil on each side of the decoupage paper, on the bottom faces on each side, and along the sides of the chest. And I'm going to be using salt wash. Salt wash is a texture additive, and it can be mixed with paint. It doesn't change the color or anything, and it's supposed to be mixed at a 1-to-1 ratio. I just kind of do my own thing. Y'all know how I do. And just mix it to the thickness that you want it. And so I'm using DIY's paint called Crinoline, and that's going to be the base coat, not only for my raised stencil, but for the base, kind of like a primer coat for the entire chest. So I'm just going to mix this up to the thickness that I want it. And then I am going to use this stencil called Cottage Lace. It is by Vintage Retail Therapy by Mara, and that is what I'm going to use to do my raised stencil with. I have this rubber spatula that I got from, where did I get it? Amazon. I should have known that. I get everything from Amazon. And I'm going to be using that to take my salt wash mixture and rub it over my stencil. I'm going to try to get it into all the crevices. Sometimes you'll see me kind of going in different directions, and that's just to really get it down into the stencil. And then I'm going to take that same little rubber spatula and I'm going to scrape off the excess. And now I'm going to dab on that extra texture onto the center part and onto those little fake drawers down at the bottom to add the white background for my decoupage paper. And also, yes, you can decoupage over texture, y'all. I don't know if y'all knew that, but you can decoupage over texture. And then I'm going to go over the stencil. I'm going to go all over the chest. And this time I'm using the crinoline with no texture in it. And so now we have a really lovely white base for not only the decoupage, but just to kind of act as a primer. And the reason I use white under the tissue paper decoupage is because I want it to really stand out. You don't have to paint white under your decoupage paper if you don't want to. It will kind of just blend more into the color. But you can decoupage, y'all, like I said, over texture. The only thing is that you will have to use a little bit more of your decoupage medium, and you'll have to be very careful when you're smoothing it down so you don't tear the paper. I'm gonna add some roses from the IOD Roses mold. I love this mold, y'all, just to give the piece a little bit of 3D, you know, a little bit of dimension. And so here you'll see me just flouring it up. So I kind of, you know, I dab it on and then I dump off the excess, and then I just smush my clay up, add it into my rose mold, and then peel it out. You know, it's that simple and it's so fun. It's, you know, it's kind of a little bit of a dirty job, but you know, who doesn't like to play in dirt? So typically I like to flip my mold on its back and then kind of roll it out. And you can see here I kind of tore the mold a little bit, but you know, it all worked out. I just kind of, you know, put it back together with my fingers, and y'all, I'm not gonna let that slow me down. I just kept right on going. So now, using my Tite Bond Quick and Thick, which is my glue of choice, I am going to be adding 3 molds to the bottom corners of each of the fronts. and 3 molds to the top corners on the top of the chest. And I didn't even have to bust out my blue tape this time, y'all. The molds held really well onto that raised stencil. So take a look, y'all. We've done our raised stencil. We have done our prime color all over the chest with crinoline. We have even added some texture in the middle where the decoupage paper is gonna go. And so, I mean, we're getting dressed, y'all. We're almost there. We've added our molds to the front panels and to the top corners as well. So next comes the fun part, y'all. So now it's time to lay our decoupage paper, y'all. And like I said, you can decoupage over texture. The only thing is that you want to make sure, I mean, you'll be using a little bit more of your decoupage medium as it kind of sets into those peaks and valleys of your texture. I didn't do a really heavy texture under my decoupage paper, but there is some texture. So you want to add a little bit more medium, and also you want to, when you start to smooth it down, you want to go very lightly so that you don't tear your paper. But other than that, you just decoupage as you would any other surface. So you're probably asking, well, Cassandra, why did you put texture down under your decoupage in the first place? Well, one, I wanted to use up that texture mixture that I had mixed up with the salt wash. And secondly, it's really nice if you want to put texture under your decoupage paper and then take a little bit of sandpaper and kind of sand it back. You get this really cool aged look with that texture underneath there. And y'all have heard me say this before, but the way that I like to put my medium down when I'm decoupaging is I like to offload the majority of what's on my brush away from the paper. And then once my brush is kind of free of most of the medium, I go back and I put it underneath the edge. And that keeps you from having a glob of, you know, the medium under your paper that might show through. Somehow I didn't get it on camera, but I went completely over the edge of the chest, and I am going to now take my sandpaper and I'm going to separate that edge from the rest of the paper below so that I can continue down those little sections. You want to make sure that your paper is dry before you start using the sandpaper so that you won't tear it. And also you'll see me kind of doing an upward motion when I'm trying to take that paper off, but really you should be doing more in a downward motion so that you don't tear the paper. I should have lifted the top up and went in a downward motion, but I just took a chance, y'all. So now I am going to lay down the rest of the paper onto those drawer front areas. They're not really drawers, but the fake drawer front areas. And I'm going to go over the little lip and all the way down. And the paper is going to be a little bit short, but I'm just going to blend in that bottom. It was a little bit tricky trying to fold that paper over that little lip and actually get it smoothed down with as few wrinkles as possible. But I had to get a bigger piece of cling wrap. That little piece of cling wrap kept slipping out of my hand for some reason. Woohoo, y'all, it's time. Y'all know how I love me some layers. So this is the next layer. I am using DIY's black velvet, and I am going to go over all of the areas where we have put the crinoline. And for this layer, I am doing pretty much a solid coat. I don't want too much of the crinoline showing in the background, so I'm going over everything with the DIY black velvet. And if you're interested in recreating something like this, you can find all the products that you see me using today on my website at www.pecanporchboutique.com. Next up on the layer list is DIY's Gypsy Green, y'all. And you'll see that I'm continuing with this tapping motion, but this time I am using, it's kind of sparingly. So I don't want to cover up all the black because I want some of the black to still show through. But I'm tapping so that I can keep that texture going. So here is our final layer, y'all. This is DIY's Sandy Blonde. And also I just wanted to mention that I let each layer dry in between before I add the other layer. I'm not trying to blend. I am just trying to layer my paints on top of each other just to kind of give this old world vintage look. Once I'm done, I'll seal the entire piece with DIY's clear wax, and then I'll give those molds a little color. And here is the outcome, y'all. Oh, I think it turned out so cute. It definitely puts me in the spring mood for sure. So those feet, adding those feet to this really, really kind of gave it, I mean, that was the star of the show, I think. I also added some color to the molds. I added a little bit of the brass Pentart wax paste to the handles to kind of make it look like the little latch. And I covered it all in DIY's clear wax. So I think it turned out really pretty, you guys. I hope you do too. Thank you so much for watching. I always appreciate your support. Hopefully you will subscribe to my channel, leave me a comment, and don't forget, y'all, to bud, bloom, and be unique. Till next time, bye-bye.